Hello and welcome. My name is Christy and I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. Anyway, I have been dreaming like intensely since I was a toddler. And I actually have real memories of lucid dreams from the time I could barely walk. It's been a very wild journey. Currently, I'm pushing 40. I'm gonna be 40 in a very short while, a couple months, and I have been compelled for such a long time to share my dreams. I have been dreaming prophetically for many years, and I honestly didn't share because it felt weird talking about it. I'm pretty active in my own spiritual community, and this isn't necessarily really a spiritual channel. It's really just about dream work and the importance of it in your life and how you can work with your dreams, and also sharing some really amazing dreams about what I really honestly believe is to come, and just about the nature of what being a human really is. I know that some people will not believe me when I tell them that I've been dreaming prophetically for all of this time. I know that's a long stretch for some people. I know that it's true, not just because I have this inner sense of knowing, but because I have watched these things play out in my life. I don't really care if people believe me or not. I've just been compelled for years to share. And I've never really known the right way to do it, whether to create a YouTube channel, whether YouTube is just a giant, like a sea of information that anybody would actually ever even see my videos. But whatever, man, I guess I'm going for it. So here I am. And today I kind of want to just talk about dreaming in general and the different types of lucidity and how to kind of get yourself more lucid, and how powerful having an active dream life can be in your waking life, and how it actually changes you from within and is an amazing way to get to know yourself very deeply. I think a lot of people misunderstand lucid dreaming and a lot of people are afraid of lucid dreaming, or they think it's just something that just happens to you and that's it. It's just over and it's weird and that's all it is. And I can tell you from experience that that is so far from the truth. It is a natural state of being for, I believe, every single person. Like, I don't feel like I'm some special psychic person. I think I'm just a normal human being who has had these gifts developed from when I was young. And the reason I feel maybe compelled to share is because you have these gifts and you're capable of doing this, even if you've never ever done it in your life. I saw recently a friend on Facebook say, "Oh my goodness, I had a lucid dream last night. I've never had one before. It was wild. I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah." And I said to her, I was like, "Wow, that's amazing. There's ways you can develop that skill." She's like, "Heck no, I don't want to do that. It was terrifying." And that kind of made me sad because it was really closing a door on something that is really, really amazing. So when you first lucid dream, one of two scenarios usually happens. Usually you become lucid, which means that you are aware that you are dreaming. It's like a sudden, something happens around you and you're like, "Wait a minute, this is a little weird. This doesn't seem like my normal reality. I don't drive a red car, I drive a black car," that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, snap, you're like, "Wait a minute, this isn't real. I'm dreaming right now." Or, this is a side note, you're like, "Wait a minute, this isn't real. Okay, where am I and what's happening?" So if you're in that state of consciousness, it's a great place to be because it means that you're probably going to be able to stay in your dream longer. If you have the other one where you're like, "Wait a minute, I'm dreaming, what the heck?" Two things happen. You either get pulled immediately out within seconds. You're like, there's a pull feeling, like suddenly you're just being pulled back through a tunnel and you're like, zoop, and you're like, bam, you're up in your bed and you're like, "What the heck just happened? Wow, that was unbelievable. Holy smokes, I can't believe that just happened. I was like aware I was dreaming." Or because you don't know what's happening and you don't realize that you're actually creating your reality in your dream time, which you're actually doing in your waking life too, but that's a whole other topic. You get into a state of fear, and because you're afraid, you start to create a lot of things that you're afraid of around you, and it becomes really scary, and you get into a nightmare and you feel like, oh my god, I gotta get out, oh my god, and then then you get pulled out. I think probably that's what happened to my friend, where it was like suddenly it was like a normal dream and then it turned into like a nightmare, because she recognized that she was lucid, and it made her feel like she was in a state of like danger possibly, and then all of a sudden things got scary. So you can get beyond that point, and it doesn't really take too much. Where I've been is many other different states of consciousness, but one of the ways that I get from that point, if that happens, where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, this is weird, something feels off, is to look into the periphery of your dream, let's say. So if you're walking down a street, for example, you're walking the dog, maybe you're having a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden you have that feeling like, wait a minute, something feels off. Make a conscious effort, because you're aware now that something is different, and so you've suddenly become consciously part of that experience. Whereas before it was kind of just playing out for you and you're watching it like a movie. As soon as you have that something is weird awareness, you've been pulled actually into that experience, and you can actually start to control and to interact with the experience. So the first thing I do is to look into the periphery. I'll look out into the distance. So if I'm walking down a street, I'll look up at the sky, I'll look out at the trees, and you'll notice that everything isn't filled in. It's like you're only creating the specific part of the scene that you're interacting with, and the parts that you're not really interacting with, they just don't get filled in. So sometimes you'll just see blank, or it'll just be hazy. Like you won't be able to see as far as you regularly would be able to see. Or there are ways through meditation and whatnot. There's so many amazing programs online, even on YouTube. There's lots of videos that you can watch that are like lucid dreaming videos and meditation, guided meditation videos. But there is a way to sort of like program yourself, and it just comes through practice, where you say, okay, I'm going to give myself a tell. So before you go to sleep, you're like, okay, tonight I'm setting the intention. Maybe you're like, you have your eyes closed and you're falling asleep, and you're like, okay, tonight I'm going to get into sort of a relaxed state, a meditative state, maybe do some breath work. Tonight I'm going to lucid dream. I'm going to get deeper into my dreams, and I am going to get there by recognizing that the moon is full in the sky. Regardless of whether it's nighttime or daytime, I'm going to recognize a full moon, and as soon as I recognize that full moon, I will become lucid. And then you'll be able to interact with your dreams. Excuse me. So that's just entering the dream. That's like the door is open and you're in the dream. So from there I found, at least there could be much more than this. Like I said, I believe that if you have something that comes to you naturally, it's good to hone your skills and to learn new skills, but to not go too deeply into other people's methods, because it could actually sort of mess up your own natural flow, let's say. So I haven't gotten too deep into a lot of different methods of doing this. So my experience in my dreams has been very specific. So you'll either get into a state, like I said, things will get really weird. So you'll have like a very ethereal, like really just wacky kind of dream. Or you'll suddenly become very much in that reality. You'll recognize, oh my goodness, I'm really in this reality. This is real. I'm real. I can feel myself. I could eat something if I wanted to and taste it. I have my senses here. Or you might recognize that I don't have a body. I'm just sort of like, almost like a camera, like a state of consciousness. I'm like a little point of consciousness. And I'm able to sort of zoom around and, go over in that corner of the room and listen to what those people are talking about, and kind of move through the grocery store over there and whatever. You suddenly become like a point of consciousness that can sort of just zoom around. So you're well aware that you're lucid, but you're also in a state where you're the observer. So you can either be an observer or you can interact as well. So you're like, okay, I'm really here right now. I'm really physically here right now. And so I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to listen intently to what this person's telling me, or I'm going to start assuming that this situation is real, like for real, and then see how it plays out. And when you wake up, before you open your eyes, replay that whole dream out in your head as much as you possibly can. As soon as you open your eyes, you start to lose it real fast. If you can, keep a dream journal. I literally never do this. I'm the worst at that. I've never been good at keeping a journal. But I have been very blessed to have dreams that are so incredibly impactful that I remember the whole thing and I don't forget it my whole life. So this channel is dedicated to sharing those dreams because I feel like they are power-packed with metaphor. They're power-packed with just activating insights. They will activate something in you that's specific to you, because everyone I've ever told these dreams, they have like an experience. Or they just might find them entertaining. I don't know. But these are like my powerhouse dreams. If I happen to have one along the way that isn't like that, but I want to share, I might share those too. So those are the two states of like being conscious in your dream. The more ethereal side of things can be really cool too, because you're still lucid. So you might just be like, I'm going to go fly. I just feel like flying. And all of a sudden, everything you'll just suddenly just take off into the sky and fly above the trees and be like, yay, this is fun. I frequently have these dreams where roads turn into like roller coasters and I'm driving in a car and I'm actually kind of freaked out because I'm like, this is too fast. Like, I'm not like the world's greatest driver. So I get kind of nervous in cars anyway. And maybe that's to teach me to have more faith. I don't know. But like, I frequently have that where it like turns into a roller coaster. I'm like, this is a very uncomfortable experience in this dream, but I'm just experiencing it. Or you might see really weird folks. They are good to talk to. Now, you can have like dark entities in dreams and things like that. There's lots of ways to protect yourself. Usually I protect myself before I go to sleep. Doesn't mean that they don't get to you. Doesn't mean that experience isn't more intense, but I feel like the good vastly outweighs the bad. And even the really intense nightmare experiences, some of them are the powerhouse dreams as well. And I'm happy to have them, even though when I was in them, it was really scary. So anyway, that's kind of like the overview of what more dream work, lucid dreaming is. There is a lot more, but I think you'll learn that through the videos of like listening to some of the dreams. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any questions on lucid dreaming or have anything that you would like to share on your own techniques, you can leave that in the comments. And I'm happy you're here. Until next time, your friendly friend, Christy. Peace.